that drives for Uber and Lyft. Joe currently uses multiple phones to efficiently drive for Uber and Lyft. But this can be a pain at times and very unsafe. That was until Joe found Maximo, the rideshare app that automates Uber and Lyft ride requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and passenger rating, to determine which rides are best suited for Joe. When a ride request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will automatically accept the ride request that matches his filters, and then turn off the app that isn't currently on a ride. Once Joe finishes the ride, Maximo will turn everything back on. This will allow Joe to focus more on his passengers and driving safe.
Hey, what's up? Well, that just jumped to 7 from 3. Hey, what's up, Thomas? How are you? What's up, Gary?
Hey, what's up? Man,
What's up,
I was just thinking when that video played, I was like, man, that's like watching an ad from like 1980 that I created. You know,
really?
Like,
I like that.
so
I even
old.
asked you what that was.
Yeah, but
that
that's like
doodly,
so
right,
old.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's doodly, but I need to redo it.
I don't know. Yeah, if it, I mean, unless it took you painstaking hours, it seems like I've seen that ad advertised before, or the app, and it seems like it can put something decent together pretty quick.
So yeah, some of it's drag and drop and manipulation, timelines, things like that.
John, how are you doing, man? You got back
good,
from the. I was also talking to John McCallion because he went to the urgent care today. He said he was sick.
Yeah, what happened?
I mean, nothing nothing urgent.
Okay.
He thought he was sick or something. Or
I think it's his attempt to get out of his steps. You know, I told you we're having a competition, and he's losing.
John doesn't know it.
Well, he's still losing.
All right, guys. So we're gonna shake it up a little bit tonight, and try a little bit different of a format. And if it works, then kind of work off that model a little bit more in the coming weeks. So we'll see how this goes. So we're all going to kind of present a different topic, but then we're all going to discuss it.
Everyone seems
excited. Well, let me introduce everybody first. First of all, I accidentally introduced the wrong John. So first of all, John Dash Theory TV, thank you for joining us.
Right, thank you for having me on here.
Yeah. Last time when John was here, he was taking my place because I had COVID and was like white as a ghost and couldn't breathe.
I could never
all
take your
kinds
place.
of stuff. No, you did though. You guys pulled off an awesome. I thought it was awesome.
Team effort.
So Kim from Kim's Side Money Plans. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Gary Middleton from Maximo app. And DUH.
I'm good too.
Good. Hannibal, what's up, man?
Nothing much. It's been a really busy day. Excited. It's my best part of the day, sitting here and talking to you guys. So I'm doing fantastic.
And after this, you guys, for those interested, Hannibal and Pedro's podcast that I believe is on Wednesday nights, but he was caught in that loop of when you go to YouTube and you're like, wait, I'm going to go live, and you're like, oops. But then there was NBA too.
It was that. Yeah, it was that where I forgot to, I guess, enable streaming. And then to do that, you have to wait 24 hours. I forgot about that. But also, like, there was the NBA Finals Game 3, probably the most important game of the 7-game series. So we thought no one was going to watch anyway. So it was like, you know what? Let's just delay until tomorrow. But for the usual, it'll be Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. So.
There you go, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. So, okay, so we have some different topics here we're going to talk up on. Some of them you might think, especially the first one we're going to talk about, Kim's going to start with. And I've talked about this a few times, but it's kind of hit a new low is what I'll call it. But we'll see how Kim presents it.
Oh, I'm going to be put on the spotlight now.
No, I want to hear exactly how you think of this.
Okay, so I guess it was this past week, Seattle passed a bill, and it's called the Pay Up bill, that they're going to guarantee a minimum wage for all gig workers. But from maybe I misread the article, but from what the article was saying, they already have something in place for Uber and Lyft, and it's more geared towards Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart, and the other gig apps that the other two don't fall into place. So it doesn't include a rideshare because I guess they have their own thing, but they're trying to get it so that it's a minimum wage of $17.27, which is Seattle's minimum wage. They came up with this because from what I gather, that they factor in like expenses as far as miles and gas, and they said that most gig drivers were making $9 an hour. I don't know. I kind of find that a little hard to believe. DoorDash made a kind of like a comment in there as well, saying that they're going to be losing a lot of drivers opposed to helping drivers with this bill. So it's going to start in 2023, so this next coming year. So when I look at this and kind of other, cities and states going through this, like I feel like everybody wants it, and then once it gets there, they're like, oh, I don't know whether this is such a good thing. So I don't know how people in Seattle are feeling about this. I mean, maybe because I don't have it yet, so it'd be interesting to hear if someone here is from Seattle, just to see how they feel about it. But that's kind of the gist of what's kind of going on in Seattle.
Yeah, the thing about Seattle, so here's the way I see it, is that Seattle was going to be the next California. They were running parallel when they started AB5. They were going to do an AB5 there too, type thing, and just go through that whole process of catching all the wrong people in the net, ruining people's lives who aren't in the gig economy or traditional one. But then they were going to modify it with like that New York thing that Hannibal might be familiar with, where they took rideshare drivers a couple of years back and they said, okay, here's the $15 you'll get an hour, plus you're going to get $11.86 for expenses and wear and tear in your car. So it ended up being like $26.87 or whatever it was. And what that actually did was made it so the drivers in New York City who are really good at their job couldn't make 50 anymore. The New York example was a perfect example of floor meets ceiling. Like if you're going to have a floor payment for everybody, that's going to be the ceiling payment as well. So if you're a hustler, if you get out there, if you earn, you're not going to be able to go out and earn 40, 50, 60 bucks an hour in New York anymore. You're going to earn 26.87, 27.80, whatever it is that everybody's earning, because they need to, obviously these companies can't even make a profit. They need to balance that out. So they were going to take that in AB5, and then somewhere along the lines, and it was very surprising to me, they decided to take Uber and Lyft and move it over to the TLC in Washington State, which is for the Taxi and Limousine Commission, which made sense. If you're traveling passengers, that seems like a good road to go down for, okay, they should have to be on the same kind of somewhat standards as these guys. They're transporting people, not food, all the same things as that, which also would have allowed them unionization, but not forced. So a lot of good things were going to come of that. Now, because let's be honest, in California, we've had Dark Road run on about this, but I have all kinds of friends that I talk to in California who do rideshare and stuff. Rideshare drivers don't see any of Prop 22. Only the delivery drivers do, because like even in San Francisco where Joe is, okay, we've talked about this before, but I'll run through it quick, where it's 19, whatever it is, if somebody in the chat knows, $19.70 is the minimum wage, but you have to pay 120% of minimum wage on the gig apps. So like Uber and Lyft have to pay $24 an hour for every active hour you do rideshare. But here's the thing. In San Francisco, every active hour you do rideshare, you're making more than $24, so they don't have to pay anything. But same thing applies in California to the delivery workers. If you work delivery apps, like Instacart. You can only get one Instacart shop done in an hour. That's $7, right? Because that's the base pay. They can't use your tip or anything else. They have to use the base pay. So that's $7. And then for DoorDash and stuff, it's $3. You can't do more than 2 dashes in an hour. So that would be $6. So if you take 6 from 24, it's 18. If you take 7 from 24, it's 17. That's what those companies have to make up for on every active hour from every person working the apps actively. So this Prop 22 solution was not a solution. It was a Band-Aid while they decided how to fight the unions. But now Seattle's pushing for this junk too, where they're like, well, include delivery drivers too. And it's like, first of all, the delivery drivers don't have to deal with people. So it's not the same standard. They don't have to drive as far. A lot of times they're within a 2-3 hour or 3 mile area. You know, a rideshare could take you all around the state in a day. So you never know what's going to happen, but they're not using as much gas. They're not this, that, the other. But now all of a sudden they want back into this too. And I mean, California's, all of this is, I mean, people can say it's not, but I've looked into this in quite detail. All of this is a move towards unionization. It's kind of, I don't want to say a trick. It's not a trick, but everything's in place and everything's going the direction that it should to follow the plan of unionization in California. And I think Seattle's now not far behind, because when they said they weren't going to do it for the delivery drivers, I was like, thank you, because that needed to be done. And then they were like, no, this pay up bill is going to go through. And I was like, what do you got?
See, you said something talking about like it being a trick or it not being a trick. But there's something that was said earlier about the average rate for delivery drivers being around $9 an hour, which blows my mind. But then I think I put the 2 and 2 together, because you said it's only based off of the base pay. Now, if you're basing, what does a delivery driver make on the base pay alone, that doesn't seem too honest to me totally, if I'm being upfront, because most delivery drivers, especially, with Uber, it's a little bit different, because I don't believe you see the tip until you're done. Both delivery, you see the tip up front. You have the ability to select and decline what orders you want a lot better, because you're able to see that tip up front. So I do agree that they should be separate, but I do think that it's a little bit of a, I don't know. I think there is kind of a trick there,
Well,
say one thing about the base pay. Yeah.
It's almost like the acceptance rate thing, though. It's like in California, they're fighting not only fighting that Prop 22 breaks the California Constitution. They're also fighting for the fact that, so basically, why put into California that DoorDash orders are, take the acceptance rate out. Now take the base pay out too, because it doesn't matter. If you do an active hour, you're getting paid your minimum wage plus 120%. So why put $7 base pay on an Instacart order? Because if every Instacart takes an hour, which approximately they do, let's say that. Mm-hmm. So if everyone takes an hour and they say $7 base pay, it's really $24 base pay. So let's just be honest. Just take it out, because you're going to get paid $24 an hour. It can't last forever. It absolutely is going to crash and burn. The rest of the country is making up for the difference right now. And there was even talk of Instacart, and I know this might sound crazy to a lot of you, but Instacart leaving the state of California.
If that was my company, I'd want to leave. To tell you that much.
Yeah, first of all, not just based on the amount of difference, because they were losing money before. Now they're losing money huge, but not just for that, but just for the fact of, as much as we might hate it, we do live in a free trade society. You can't tell a business how to run. So like Gary and I today, we're talking about transparency, and it was like, if they would just be fully transparent, show the distance, show where you're going, show every detail I need. And then if I take the order, I take it. If I'm like, that's trash and I don't, somebody else will. And then it's a true independent contractor model where you're making the decision, do you want it or not? And then there's nobody to blame. And then you don't need all this junk and AB5 and Prop 22. And because Seattle's not going to be the only one. New Jersey's going after something. Massachusetts is going after something. New York's got some stuff coming down the pipe. Other states are looking into this. As if the AB5 model is good. It's not.
Yeah. But then at that point, what's the incentive of like multi-apping really doesn't exist, because what's the point in multi-apping? Because you still get $1 per hour. what's the point of working harder to get more orders in an hour because you get an hourly wage regardless? So,
well,
I don't know.
check this out. You can, if you do delivery, okay. Now I can't really break this. You guys will understand what I'm talking about. Maybe one of you have a better way of wording it, but if you do all three of the delivery apps, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash, and let's say that you can get an active hour, if this will make sense, if you can get an active hour, let's say on all three apps in 2 hours. So like you're overlapping some orders with others, you will be paid an active hour, or you'll be paid for the active time on each one. So you'll be paid 3 active hours for 2.
Kind of like a cheat code, almost like say almost $60 an hour or more.
I mean, it seems like there should be code that simply catches that. Gary, why is there not?
Gary, invent it. Come on.
Or resident coder.
Wait, why would I invent code that makes me less money? Like if I mean, if I lived in California, New York, Seattle, where all these minimum wage laws are, I would definitely take advantage of it. I mean, if they're not going to share data and, you know, make sure that I don't pick up 3 orders from 3 different companies and get $60 an hour, that is completely their fault. Me as a company, if I was a gig app and these laws came to my state, that would probably be my first thing that I would fight against right there. Like, that's fine. That's fine. Like Australia, for example, you can't work in Australia 24 hours a day. You can't, because you have to use a third-party app called Logmate, which you get on there, you log in, log out for each job you work. So like here, even with a 12-hour restriction, you can do 12 hours Uber and then switch over and do 12 hours Lyft.
Yep.
It stops all that. Logmate in Australia stops all that. Once you do your 12 hours, you're done. You can't log in for the next till the breaks up or whatever. And I'm surprised we don't have that type of system in places like California, Seattle, New York, where they have all these minimum wage laws.
And that's I guess my point is, man, like, you know, they're losing their tails off on this to begin with. And if people are overlapping, they're extra losing. And why would they not want to go to whatever length to go, wait a minute, make sure that guy isn't on any other platforms when he's active with us? Because if he's active with UE or he's active with DD,
See, that's what I would have fought if I was Uber or somebody. That's the first thing I probably would have fought for, is if I have to pay them a minimum wage, they cannot be on any other platform while they're doing my app.
Don't you think eventually they're going to do that? I don't know what's taking them so long. It seems like right now, where things are pretty lean, considering everything that's going on, you would expect them to at least come together on that one. But as I checked out this story and talking to Ride with Anthony, another gig tuber, it's in New York City. We don't have the law yet, but we'll have it in 2023. They haven't even told us what it is yet. The pay rate will be, but it's going to probably be minimum wage, and minimum wage in New York City is $15. And I think, and we're talking about how they're going to respond to this, and we noticed through the orders we're getting, they're different compared to 6 months ago, compared to a year ago. The numbers are different. They're quick deliveries, but there are no tips on them. So it's like $3 for 1.6 miles. And I'm sure Uber Eats is like, yeah, look, $1 a mile, go get it. I'm like, I'm not taking that. But we notice how the orders are being presented to us. So I think they're going to change the algorithm. They're going to probably dump more orders on people, because now it's like, well, hey, active time, maybe every order is a stack order with crap on top of it, but you're going to be active anyway. We're going to push you. We're going to push you to make sure you deliver these orders, because now you're basically an employee, because active time is all, and there's no open ability to make more money or really hustle. It's, do what you have to do to fill out that hour, so that they can do whatever they want. And especially with Instacart, no one's going to take, that's why they left. Like, who's going to take these ridiculous batches for only 17? Like, if it's, minimum wage, like, who would do that? So,
also, I mean, if you're getting this, even if there's no tip though, if you're getting the $7 that they put, you're getting in San Francisco again, 24, why not take your time? I mean, you can't go overboard, but why not take an hour shop and make it an hour and 30 minutes?
Well, see, I after reading my article, I actually think that's probably why some of these companies aren't fighting for this. I know Hannibal's supposed to go second, but mine kind of filters into here.
Mhm.
Drone deliveries.
Are you saying you're going to jump ahead?
Yes, I'm jumping in. Sorry, Hannibal.
Well, thanks for asking, Gary.
well, I was looking at the topic. I'm like, well, his doesn't go with this.
Doesn't go.
It doesn't go next. It really doesn't. I mean, if you guys don't mind, but I was refreshing myself on this article that I was reading about. You know, Walmart has announced that they're going to be using drones to do delivery now. And this isn't something that, you know, we're going to see next year or the following year. This is active already. Walmart has actually partnered with a company called Drone Up Delivery, and they're placed in 34 sites, or they'll be in 34 sites by the end of the year, providing Walmart deliveries to customers. And the hours are between 8 a.m. 8 p.m. Customers will be able to order tens of thousands of items. It is a drone, though. I did look up how much a drone can actually carry. Like 50 pounds is the max.
For now.
Yeah, for the moment. So I'm thinking that these drones will probably be taking, you know, small stuff, prescriptions, things like that. Yeah, just the small stuff. But
it just makes me think, though, like they can have all those batched orders that none of us want to do because they're like 12 drops and like 42 miles. So the drones can have them and have fun with them, and you know what? Go for it.
Oh, wait, you know, I introduced this the wrong way. Hold on. It's a sad day for Spark drivers. I told you about this.
Yeah. No. And you know what?
Pay the drive-in.
I remember there being articles about when Spark was, you know, it's weird because Jason Thierry, for example, he's normally like, we'll have something launch here in Denver that probably came out in New York and other places. And then he'll tell me, you know, like, oh, so I'll know Spark is coming here. It's going to New York. And usually we would get something like that first, but they got Spark way before us in Michigan for whatever reason, not just here, but a lot of places. So Jason was doing Spark like a year ago. It lasted for a good couple months, and then they just started using they did a whole different thing where they were using Walmart employees. They started using other things. Like, I kind of always felt like with Walmart, with all of them, it's always too good to be true when they come out of the gate. But to be honest, I felt like with Walmart, I felt like this is just logistical to see how long things are taking.
Well, as I was reading the article, my first thought was if Walmart can do this, Amazon will follow suit shortly after. And then I don't know.
Amazon was planning to do that a while ago, and then they decided not to do it.
Well, they're trying to figure out the logistics and the the FAA regulations, things like that. Like FAA came back and told them that, well, we don't want 5,000 drones coming across the city.
Yep.
You know, because Amazon, like when you pick up an Amazon route, sometimes you got 50 packages.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So imagine how many drones it's going to take for a full day of getting Amazon stuff out. So the FAA was like, well, we don't really want that many drones. And so they wanted to limit them to like, I don't know, 200 drones or something like that. And for Amazon, that's nothing.
Not even worth it.
Yeah, not even worth it. And so they're what I read was Amazon was trying to figure out a better system for the FAA to approve. Now for Walmart, though, the way I read it for this is they're actually going to have pilots that are doing this. If it was me guessing, it's probably one pilot controlling multiple drones on a desktop computer, making sure that they're not hitting wires or something like that. Kind of like the tower control people at airports. But they in the article they did reference that they're trying to get other things. I don't know how well it would work for food delivery though, because I mean, can you imagine a Wendy's having to have a drone every time something like that's just not practical. It's just not. So
the hot bag.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's probably going to save. I don't even know how much the service costs for Walmart to use, but I would probably say it's probably going to save them money in the long run compared to sending Kim out for $20 to drop off one package, they can have a drone there and back in a couple of minutes.
So does it say what city these drones are going to be doing this in?
It's going to start out Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Texas,
Arizona.
Utah, and Virginia.
I think me and Kim are gonna be safe for right now because New York, New Jersey,
the FAA laws and stuff.
Yeah, New York. There's no way they're gonna let drones fly around New York City.
over here.
Hannibal has a no-fly zone. Like you can't. Like no-fly zone.
We have our own here in Colorado, and actually John's state is quite the same too. I don't know if you guys know your regulations. If this becomes too big of a deal, look into it. But these drones have to fly at they can't go too high. They have to fly at a certain level. And when they drop off the package, they're not just dropping it from the sky. They come down pretty low. Here in Colorado, you have I can't remember what exactly it is.
Have you seen
it's like 60 feet of airspace above your property line is yours. So, dude, people, and this is, maybe a lot of people think this is a joke. I know a lot of people in Colorado, they won't treat this like a joke. They've said if a drone comes to their house, they will shoot it down.
So that was what I was thinking for Arizona, too. Arizona's
the same way. Yep. People are going to shoot these things down. They're going to baseball bat them to death. And if they want to say, well, you just heard a drone. Nope. It was on my property. Because that is a thing. If somebody flies a drone right now over my property, I can shoot it down.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can though.
Delivery? Just the question, okay, I order a package from Amazon. I'm sure there'll be an option. So you're not being presented with some kind of machinery coming around your property that you're not expecting. So I would assume there'll be some level of option.
Right, but what about when it's coming to deliver it to me and it goes across 3 of my neighbors, all who are anti-drone, have guns? If it gets low enough, they all have a shot.
I guess it'd be interesting.
With baseball bats. If you don't want to talk about guns, we can just take it to baseball bats. If you guys want to really know where John lives, after the Waymo car killed somebody back when. There was instead of protesting, they took cinder blocks up on the highway tops over the roads that these Waymos run on, and they were pushing them to fall onto the cars on time.
Here's what I see right here. It says, in the U.S., the airspace over your property is considered an easement, and it's legal to fly a drone over it. So that means
it depends on the state how far what over it means.
Right. So if you just shoot down any random drone above your house, you might go to jail.
Right. But when it comes down to deliver,
you would know it's your delivery, though. It's your delivery. Why would you shoot down your own delivery?
I don't think somebody can shoot their own. I think it's going to be the neighbors.
I have no idea.
Let's just put it this way. Forget the legalities. It's going to happen. I can't say for every state, but where John and I live, it's going to happen.
Well, here's
the thing. People like that are going to be waiting. They're going to love it. They're going to treat them like skeet. They're going to love this.
I would say that if you shot down a drone on your own property delivering to you, I'm sure somewhere in the terms of service of whatever company you ordered from, you probably agreed to that, and they're probably going to sue you.
I just don't see what the point is. I'm going to
why? Because am I clicking a TOS?
But you're agreeing.
You can sue me.
Well, I think it's not going to be the person getting the delivery. It's going to be the neighborhood kids. If they're with their rifles, especially because most kids start shooting with rifles before.
You guys live in some very violent places.
No, we just have a lot of people who don't want to be messed with at all.
How you being messed with a drone delivering packages to your neighbor?
I'm just okay, man.
People are very possessive about their properties out here.
Yeah, man.
I tell you, when I deliver food, sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to leave this at your gate.
So driving as a human being, am I worried about getting shot over? It just seems a little aggressive. I don't know. And I'm in New York City. I just feel like that's a little excessive. But I'm sure that
seems
really
like a segue into your piece.
Yeah, Hannibal. See, segue into your piece. Dangerous places.
Well, we have a lot of drone violence happening here in New York City. Actually, we don't. I'm just.
Actually, Hannibal, before we go on, I did want to ask you, California, is all of New York $15 an hour, or are the boroughs
New York City?
Okay, but is there different minimum wages around the city, though, depending on where in the city you are?
No, minimum wage from
okay.
all the it's all $15 an hour.
Okay.
So we're talking about, we were just talking about shooting, but we have a big issue with the crime that's happening across the country. It doesn't matter what state you're in, crime has rise in a crazy, an alarming rate for the last 2 years since lockdowns. And actually, to be honest, at least in my neck of the woods in New York City, crime was actually increasing before that. But things have kind of exploded at this point. And one of the big stories, I don't have the name of the person, but I remember reading this yesterday that, actually happened to, this morning. San Francisco, we're known as a big progressive city, politically, actually recalled their district attorney because this person was so soft on crime. And I don't know if you guys seen viral videos of people going into Rite Aid, going into stores, just smashing grabs, and they're just filming. And the people who are doing it, the criminals, have no worry about getting caught, getting arrested. And I guess even San Francisco was like, okay, we're done. Like, this is getting ridiculous. So we gotta put some effort and realize there's some level of law and order that needs to be done. And over the last couple of months, I think every week we see a story about a gig worker being hurt, being robbed, being killed. And when they have these stats about, gig workers are being, is a really dangerous line of work, sometimes we scoff at that, but we don't realize that just the probability of being outside more often than the average, I guess, person in terms of working and being in unfamiliar environments, that it is something that we have to deal with. And, I kind of rack my brain because I know some people who actually carry weapons, some don't, some decided, alter their whole strategy of being outside certain times of night. And I'm sure we talked about this before, but I guess I could ask you guys, do you guys take any extra precaution when you guys go out and do your gig work, or you don't even think about it? Like, for me, I will be honest, and it's probably not a good thing, I don't think about it too much. And I'm in an area where crime is a big deal. But I'm wondering what you guys do when you guys, get out your house and get in your car. Is there something even on your mind? Okay, we can start with John.
So for me, as interesting as that sounds, my precautions are twofold in the sense that I don't carry something with me, but I'm conscious about what I'm wearing just because I know the neighborhoods I deliver in. There's some times when I'm not going to say they're gang members, but are definitely some neighborhoods that have higher violence rates than the rest of the surrounding areas. So I'm not going to go anywhere wearing all red. Red is one of my favorite colors, but I'm not going to wear all red shorts and
smart. Yeah.
So I'm very conscious of the colors that I wear, but that's the main piece of it. Outside of that, once it gets dark, I definitely stop my delivery. So right now in Arizona, sunsets about 7:30. So I'm typically coming home about 7:30, which does suck in the sense that it cuts a little bit of my profit from that dinner rush. But it's still good enough for me as long as I'm active.
Gotcha.
And, I think that's the biggest thing is me just being conscious of what I wear and then where I'm going and not staring down everybody when I'm going driving.
I hate you, man.
John's like, no, it's purple. Purple, it's not blue. It's purple.
I like the idea of what Van does if you work at night. Just wear like one of those reflective vests that the cities wear or whatever.
That's smart.
That's pretty neutral. Nobody's gonna mess with you. They're just gonna think you're out fixing something or doing something or
The biggest challenge for me at night is, especially being the glasses, where seeing people's lights, people don't keep their the numbers on their house on. They don't keep their lights on. So I'm either trying to look and get too close to somebody's door. Oh, that's not the right person. Sometimes it's on the sidewalk so I can see it there. But that's one thing I am thankful for is when I'm using for example, using the DoorDash app. It kind of shows you what house it is, and so you can generally get to the right place. And then besides that, of course, you're in a big apartment complex. It's just a pain anyways, but that was not as bad. But,
yeah.
I just carry a drone around with me so everybody shoots it instead.
A decoy drone.
So I carry a Gerber knife on me. And it's a small one, but it's one of those ones that can get in my finger. I can handle it well. But this is the same kind of stuff I would do when I was working in the bars too. But I wouldn't need any of this stuff. Doing rideshare, delivery, whatever. I now just carry it with me because even if it might be to help somebody else, I don't know, because I know how to, I'm not going to go around stabbing people, but I have my knife. I have bear mace in reachable distance, and then I have a small mace on me, and then I always have my taser. So taser's the best. This is
not
my
allowed
goal.
any of that. We can't have any of that.
Yeah, I don't carry any weapons on me. I feel like I work smarter, and it comes with knowing your area and to know your surroundings. And who cares about acceptance rate when it comes to your safety? Like, especially at nighttime and working at nighttime, like I am really choosy about where I'm delivering to. And there are times where you get orders and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. But going back to Hannibal, what you said is, gig work, could be dangerous, but I feel like every job comes with like a level of some sort of danger. And you were saying, about like smash and grabs are on the rise. Like I used to work in retail and I got, so many smash and grabs in my own retail store. It happened like almost, weekly, sometimes daily, that people are just coming in, they're grabbing, they're putting in bags and like literally running out the door. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of danger in everything that whatever job you do. It's just how do you work smarter about it and, really protect yourself that way as well.
Yeah, but I will say that I kind of agree with Hannibal from a statistical perspective, me being a numbers guy, that as gig workers, we have more, I think we interact with more human beings on a daily, weekly, yearly basis than the average person. So it's not necessarily that I think that it's dangerous. It's that, if it's a 1% chance, we're running that 1% chance a lot more often than the average human being.
Right. Because I know many people who decided to not do rideshare anymore. One of the reasons was the fact of obviously food delivery probably was more profitable and less mileage, but they were concerned about having strangers in the car compared to how it was maybe a few years ago. Obviously, COVID is another thing that they're concerned with. But I'm thinking about like, okay, what can we do to solve this problem? And it looks like you can, speak with, your political like voice where like just from San Francisco recalling the district attorney, you're sending a message to the other people in office saying, hey, make this a priority or we will vote you out as well. And I know the midterms are coming in the next couple of months. If you live in an area where this is happening and you just feel like the people in charge are just not doing enough, go and vote. I know midterms usually is not as popular to vote compared to like the main elections, but if you notice your neighborhood is getting worse and worse and worse, vote the people who are actually taking, at least say they're going to take this crime seriously. Because I think what happened in the last 2 years where we got soft and we thought, no bail and all these types of bad ideas, bringing people who haven't been rehabilitated, haven't learned anything, go back out into the streets to commit more crimes was not a great idea. So those kind of ideas need to be thrown out and, just vote. I mean, I know some people don't like voting, but if you want to make some difference, that's at least the first process to do.
Yeah. I'm just going to say one more thing though. Like, I feel like just because you work in just because there's buildings involved with people's other job doesn't always make you safer. Like, I feel safer doing this than I did working retail some nights just because of the level of stuff that was happening in store and in house. And like, I feel safer doing this. I just feel like there's still levels of danger, no matter kind of whether you're in a building or whether you're out doing what we do, there's just danger kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
So one last thing I'll add though is everything that I was saying to you, it's not so that I can go use all of that in my car against somebody and stuff. A lot of times, like if I'm in Denver, if you're doing a drop off, a lot of times it's in an alley. And a lot of them are nice. I mean, these are just buildings are split. You can go down the alley. And a lot of the entrances to a lot of condos, apartments, things like that are better for the residents from the alley. So all of this seems to work. And, but like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've taken somebody, this doesn't even involve me, and like seen something bad happening, like a guy shaking a girl's arm by a dumpster, not my rider, not in my car, just a little bit more down the alley.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess I'm just more prepared for helping anything. It's not really me. I don't worry about me. I worked enough in the bars where I've been punched from behind, all kinds of things that like I didn't see coming, and I'm pretty good about like reading everything. So I'm not as concerned about me. I guess I'm just more kind of looking out for others, because we do know, and I mean, Hannibal, I mean, that's kind of what you were just bringing up, is that again, you know, we're starting to slowly come out of this pandemic for real. And again, yesterday I Googled Lyft, and I was just looking for Lyft articles, and I get deeper Googles as I go, but I just put in Lyft, and like the first page was like, out of the 10 or whatever on Google, it was like 6 or 7 were like killings or shootings, and they weren't the same one either. It's like Lyft seems to be a keyword to see like how many people have been killed lately in the gig economy. And it's crazy to me. It's like, you know, I guess how are we going to solve this? Because the taxi industry couldn't solve it forever. Their death rate, rapes, all kinds of stuff was higher than rideshare ever was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, taxi industry was dirty, man. It was corrupt. It was dirty in most cities.
Yeah, and that's another unfortunate thing where even when you get an offer, I don't know, is rideshare still the same problem as well? Food delivery, you're not even getting you're not giving the government name of the person. You're getting some weird nicknames, and you know other people's using different accounts. So it's like it's not even completely verified on the customer's end. And you know the gig driver, whatever, they have to deal with all that, and you just have to be a little bit more careful than you probably were a couple of years ago. I wish I was able to have some more ability to protect myself. A lot of it, if I do it, it'd be against the law. Sometimes I do, but most time I don't. So like, I wish I had the opportunity to have a taser or have a certain knife, but New York City laws are very stringent. For law-abiding citizens.
What about mace?
They do whatever they want.
What about pocket mace?
Well, I was going to say, what is the penalty? Like, what is it? Is it a felony or a misdemeanor, or
you get kicked off the platform?
Well, no. I mean, he said it's against the law there. So
it's certain size of knife. Yeah, knives it can't be too.
Well, like I understand, like knives, guns, etc. I understand,
right? But like a Leatherman,
like a taser, though. What's the penalty for carrying a taser?
I don't know. I know you can't have one because they didn't even let you ship one. I remember trying to buy one on eBay and put my address. It was like eBay was like, we're not giving this to you. It's probably a misdemeanor, at least for a taser. I don't think it gun felony.
Well, like I know some states you can't have the taser that actually shoots the wires out, but you can have a handheld one, which is
like mine.
So that's what I'm saying. If it's
louder than that, Gary.
Well, you know what I mean. Go get it. Go get it and try it on yourself. We'll see.
Don't be
guys, you only get to see this once.
Yeah.
I can't
stand
tell
up and
you
touch your neck.
how many times though. Like I can't tell you how many times though. Like I've seen an order come in and I saw where it was going, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Well, because to me, a misdemeanor, if I had to actually use it and get caught using it, compared to my life, that's 100% worth it. Because I can't see any DA gonna prosecute me for defending myself. I just don't see it.
Well, I also kind of question the fact of like, okay, all the production I work, I always have. In fact, I have both. I have a kind of small Leatherman, your normal size, but then I have like a more extended Gerber. And on that Gerber is a good 4-inch blade. Now that's a tool that I need to do production. Can I not walk around New York City with that? Because it's not like a little Swiss Army knife blade either. It's a blade.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are carrying all types of things in New York City. It depends on getting caught or whatever the issue that may transpire.
Yeah.
But right now the mayor's trying to fix a lot of this stuff, but it's going to take a long time. Summer is usually where a lot of more crime is happening. Shootings are a common occurrence. I know the news right now is like the mass shootings, where it's like going into a place that you wouldn't think a gun shooting belong in there and doing terrible things. But a lot of the mass shootings are happening in inner cities, happening over drugs, gangs. Those are the mass shootings that are happening. How do you solve that?
Well-
that's the question.
There was another one in Maryland today. I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Well, I think the big challenge, though,
what
too,
was the
is
guy's name in Maryland today?
really hear about that.
I didn't see the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. I seen this thing posted the other day. It says, all mass shootings are done by white people.
yeah, that's
And it was a funny thing. It's not a race issue. It's just, and I'm white, so I can say it. So,
you can
but it's a funny.
What
thing.
were you reading? Was the next line like all Asians are bad drivers?
No. It was some video somebody sent me on TikTok or something like that. But it's like you know already that it's some stupid white person because it's Kyle. Come on.
It's
Seriously?
Kyle.
Like you don't even have to know anything else. If I say Kyle shot up something, you're gonna be like, yep, white. Like it was just some skit I was watching. It was funny though.
So I think the big challenge too, I think, especially right now, I feel like Hannibal said, as the summer comes, especially in the inner cities, the violence increases. It gets hot out, people get bothered. And then on top of that, coming out of the pandemic, I think all the stats are out there that, mental health issues have risen dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we have that combination of, and on top of that, people who haven't been outside have interacted, hate to sound ageist, but the younger generation doesn't have as many social skills. They're less respectful of their elders. So I think there's a combination of things that happen that are leading to that increase in violence. And of course, it's almost that time of year for it. So I think it definitely is scary.
Mm-hmm.
I carry, I don't carry weapons, but I do carry mace. So you can throw me in jail for carrying mace.
She got them
I
done.
was gonna say
I
everybody
think mace
should be
may
able
be
to.
something you could probably hold. I'm not even
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, like I carry mace, so you know what?
Like-
If you were to throw me in
like
jail
I
for
said,
carrying mace, go right ahead.
I have two. I have this little one that's it's a pump, but when you pump it once, I do recommend anybody that has mace, like Kim, you have mace. I hope you have gone somewhere and sprayed it and tried it.
Yes.
Yeah, because it dries
Okay.
out.
Because most people, like I know, they're like, yeah, I got mace. I'm like, have you ever used it? They're like, I've never had to. I said, have you ever used it? Have you ever gone and sprayed it and seen it work? Know how the wind blows it, how it carries? No. Okay, well then when the time comes, you're probably going to have a horrible time doing this.
I think you should mace yourself actually.
Me?
Like true. No, I mean anybody in the world.
What do we do to you?
Like that's the reason why police, when they go through training, they mace each other.
Well,
So
I thought
that
it was
way,
too
that
also
way
I'm
they
not
know
going to
that-
mace myself.
Yeah.
Because if they just have to
Really?
do it downwind and there's some reverb and it's coming back, you got to be able to,
Because you know
continue
why?
with your
Because
job.
if you start when you're in a situation, a correction officer as well, when you spray mace in a crazy close quarter situation,
Yeah.
you will get
You're going to
affected
get
as
it
well.
too.
Yeah.
Right,
Absolutely.
you're
If
gonna-
you don't
you're
know
gonna
how
freak out.
to react to it. It will damage. You should be able to at least be comfortable enough to realize, it's going to be really painful. This is going to be, but you still got to apprehend whoever you're attacking or whatever. So it does make sense, but I had a little bit in my eye one time. Now I had a mace and I was messing around with it. I forgot. And then I wiped my eye with, because something was in my eye. And that, I was going to curse. It hurt for a while. I barely had anything on my finger. And it hurt for at least a good hour.
You can say it was just a jalapeno.
It was uncomfortable. I was like, damn. So imagine getting like a couple of even a little bit spray right in your face. It's effective. I'll say that.
No, I've been maced, like by a friend. We did
Do
it
tell
to each
more.
other, and it's nothing joke. Like you go blind, you literally go blind, and if you have to mace somebody and it hits you, you're gonna freak out. You better hope that they don't recover before you figure out what you're supposed to be doing. That's why I say
you gotta remember to it's a lot. Adrenaline, you gotta fight through that stuff.
Were you drinking? I'm gonna mace you. I'm gonna mace you back.
He's laughing. It must be
I will say tasers were also involved.
A better question is, did you record it?
No,
Yeah, but
this
no
was
joke,
before
one-
internet.
One time I had to actually let a sales associate go because she actually maced somebody that security was apprehending for shoplifting, and she thought she was helping the situation, and she ended up spraying mace, and it like literally, because it was in the area, like it literally spread through the entire store, and it was a disaster. So it can be very dangerous, and it could linger and last for a while.
So
I guess buy mace, everyone, or pepper spray. Just,
buy
Sounds
buy
like a
something,
scene
you
from a
guys.
Seth Rogen movie or something.
Buy something. So I got to tell this story. You know, we talk about autonomous sometimes, but I am really blown away at what has happened here. So I'm just going to quickly, because this started years ago, but I'm just going to quickly run through this mess. John's a numbers guy, so he'll follow this as I go. But so back in 2017, Anthony Lewandowski, who was the Google engineer and the founder of Otto Autonomous, which Google engineer meant working for Waymo Alphabet. He had been working for them for 2 years. He quit and took the autonomous sketches of the LiDAR and things that Uber was way behind in and took a job for 3 times the pay with Uber. He took all of the intellectual property over to Uber. He gave it to him. He went to court. He got sentenced. He got fined like a lot of the value of Otto anyway. I mean, it was in the multi-millions, but he got sentenced to 18 months in jail. The previous administration, the previous president pardoned him. He didn't spend 1 day in jail. Now, this was an intellectual property suit between Uber and Waymo. They vowed to hate each other for life. And now Uber then sold off its autonomous to Aurora and to a company in Russia, Yandex, and it was done with autonomous. But then it got back part of its autonomous division to put it into the dead Uber Freight. So if you guys haven't heard Uber Freight in a while, it's because it was dying. So they thought, okay, let's do this. So now after we've talked so many times about, why did they even waste this money? I'm so glad Uber's getting out of all these stupid projects. Maybe they'll finally turn a profit. Well, now they're getting back into autonomous with freight. But here's the kicker. So now Waymo is going to team up with Uber because they need Uber's technology for the trucking. Now, first of all, Uber Autonomous, when they were around, was ranked like 113th in the world with autonomous, and Waymo has been in the top 10 since day one. So why do they need anything from Uber other than just say, hey, can you move that crappy truck out of my way? Because we're going to do some real testing here. Like, I just don't get it. So this whole thing's happening. Anthony Lewandowski is now back working with another company. And I mean, it's basically, this is spy stuff. Secrets were stolen. They went to court. They proved it. They caught him red-handed. He had turned over the documents to Uber. And then he was supposed to go to jail. Trump said, no, you don't need to go to jail, man. Crime's cool. You're good. And he just let him go and pardoned him. And now these companies if you're those size companies, if you're Uber and then you're Google, Waymo, Alphabet, and you guys are competing, but really you view Uber as dude, this, whatever. Uber's, are they still doing this? I don't even know. All I know is Uber can't turn a profit. They don't know what they're doing. So then they steal your stuff. Now you're going to work with them again?
Money. It's all about money.
Yeah, it's to be money. Because imagine that interview. Why did you leave your last position? Oh, I got caught stealing and went to jail. And I got pardoned.
That's part of it too, is that in this whole scandal, and all of this is on uberlyftdrivers.com, but you can go find the latest story I put up there. But if you just search the website for Waymo versus Uber, you'll see all of the court cases as they went down in 2017 and how ugly all of this was. I just question where any of this is at. I mean, we've got autonomous nothing. It's we've got these slight autonomous things in cars. Oh, this car can parallel park. So can I. You know, it's like, in fact, I don't trust the car to parallel park. I can do it just good. We know the LiDAR doesn't work. Cameras probably don't work well. You can be bouncing off bumpers.
Sometimes the sensors are delayed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like these are good features to work on the features, but I don't believe in the autonomous. In the autonomous of the trucking industry, people sometimes talk around it in articles like, well, that's long distance on a highway. That's easier. That's not easier. Have you guys ever seen a truck on a, like, I live in a different part of the country, like John, it gets windy. 18-wheelers can tip. They can, I mean, like all kinds of crazy stuff can happen. You need to be able to navigate. You need to be a good driver to do this stuff. And
see, I'm always surprised whenever you know me, I'm a tech guy, so I love autonomous. But I'm surprised that whenever I see them actually doing the testing, you know, the engineers are testing, none of them are in the car, in the public. They're on a closed track somewhere, something like that. And then they test it there. They're like, oh yeah, it's working on the track. Let's give it to this person. Let's call her Rachel. Send her out into the real world. She knows nothing about coding. All she's supposed to do is watch the car drive and help it if it gets, you know, off. Why are these engineers not jumping but in that driver's seat with the laptop next to them and seeing what's going wrong with this stuff? You know, to me, I thought by now, with, you know, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago that we started hearing about all this, I would at least thought that we had a bus route that would be
that's what I was
completely autonomous.
That's what I've been saying too, like all right turns around a block.
Yeah, something simple. You know, start out small, something simple. We don't need every car out there autonomous yet, just something simple.
Yeah. Or why not do it in a place where people don't live? I mean, if John, I don't know if you saw it, I'm pretty sure everybody else here saw it, but I put up a link. I put up a video on my YouTube channel, but there was an autonomous vehicle that evaded. There's 3 autonomous companies operating in San Francisco right now without the right insurance, without the right coverage really of anything, just because they greased the right palms. So they're not operating legally, but they're operating because they paid the right people. And this one was a Cruise. So it's Cruise, Zoom, and Waymo all operate vehicles in San Francisco. And the cops pull it over. They come up to the car and it runs through the light.
I've seen that video.
I've seen that video. Yeah.
So they pull back through. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but first of all, no ticket was issued there. No ticket, no fine was issued to Cruise. That whole scene, there's people laughing on the sidewalk going, oh, look, there's another one. So the San Francisco residents are used to this. They're like going, oh, there's another autonomous, you know, like they think it's a joke.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the iRobot thing, you know, like first off, Uber car that killed that person. If that was anybody else, they would have been in jail for murder. But since it's a robot, they can't go to jail for murder.
Well,
right. But why don't the cops have shutdowns on these?
Right.
Or why don't,
I think so too.
You know, why are they even operating anyway? Why are they operating at night when we know they have a problem with them? Why are they, you know, if I pulled over and the cops came up to the window and I was like, later, and I went through the light and then stopped on the other side and was like, you going to come back? Come over here again. And then thought about my next move. I guarantee you, I'm getting fined, shot,
you're going to jail.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff's going down.
Yeah.
I want to be the person that lives after one of those accidents, so that way I can own the company, whoever made them, and become the CEO of them eventually.
Pay me my settlement in stock.
Yeah.
I've had that same thought, and the thing is that even though there's no laws, there's no exact regulations, that when this happens, what do? The city, all the dirtbags in the city have the politicians have all decided, no, this is okay. We all got our palms greased, so they're okay to operate. Do they have insurance? Yeah, but it's not the right insurance. It doesn't really cover everybody. You guys, we just lost Hannibal there because he has a podcast that he is about to start.
Yes.
As we wrap this up, we will let you know so that you can check that out. I know this is it's normally gonna be on Wednesdays if you missed the start, but this week it's on Thursday
of his podcast. Yes,
his and Pedro's. Yes, it's not gig economy related. So, well, I just said why you bailed, John.
Oh, yeah, it's not gig economy related, so it's nice. Like it's like a little power hour. So, it's like the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock must see TV.
Yeah.
I got a question. So if an autonomous car hits my car, who do I tell my insurance company to sue?
The autonomous company.
Oh, I'm sure it's the autonomous company. I'm just
sure the
sure
insurance company will have a field day with that one.
The only thing,
somebody's gonna have a fun time with that one.
the only
well,
thing
I'm guessing
different,
they just cash pay it out. Like
Yeah,
they
the only-
contact your insurance. They're like, well, what do you want?
no, they have insurance. I mean, all these companies have insurance.
Yeah, they do, but it depends on what happens.
I think
They're not really-
probably
they're-
gonna fight
they
you to
don't-
make
they don't
you the
work
liable
right.
party. I'm sure.
Like when they're testing at Ford Motor, they don't go put it in downtown Detroit and see like how many people they can kill. They do it at Ford Motor. So why are they doing
See
it?
how many people they can kill at Ford Motor? Like, yeah,
No, but they've got like
30 shifts to
Ford
line
Ford
up.
Motor's a big area, man. So my point is like San Francisco seems about the worst of the cities to do it in, of all places too, with the hills and
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't understand why they're taking these cars and put them out on the road without engineers in them to see what's going wrong with them.
See, it would make more sense, I think, to do these autonomous testing, like you said earlier, with public transportation, something like a light rail or something that has a track it can go on. There's not much veering, not much human intervention needed.
or even a bus like that has like in San Francisco, they have these, like how Gary and I have talked about the bus thing before, just taking right turns around a block, but you could even hook it up to electric.
Yeah.
So it's on one of those, those electric rails that runs up and powers them. Because then you could always kill that switch no matter what went wrong and it wouldn't have power.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like there's a million ways to go about this better than this. Everything seems like every time we get into autonomous, it's as scandalous as can be. I mean, it seems more unsafe than crypto.
See, I was going to say that almost in the sense that autonomous, it sounds like a great idea when you talk about it out loud. But then when you start like seeing it happen, you're like, this is extremely dangerous in all actuality.
Yeah.
They know something will go wrong at some point. I feel like they just jump the gun. Like, it's here, it's a new toy. Just throw it out there. But they know it's going to go wrong. They know something's going to go wrong. It's just, we're just going to, roll the dice and shoot it and say, okay, we did it.
That's what they have
We
insurance
grew up watching
for.
the Jetsons and we just want that technology.
Yeah, but also like, so we always joke, or I joke a lot about, San Francisco has two types of people, the 1% and the homeless. It's all that can afford to live there. But why aren't the homeless just jumping in front of these, like Kim said? I'd just be taking a header in front of one.
Well, probably not a header. You want to live.
But I want there to be some good damage too, so I could really take them down.
Yeah, see, my first thing, like whoever, I mean, I can't blame the tech companies for putting out autonomous cars. I can't do it because I really want them to be here. Like, I want to be able to get on a bus and go to sleep and whatever, or a car, be there in 12 hours, whatever. I really want that. But who is approving these on the city level?
Yeah.
Like that's what I have to wonder. Like, who is approving? Like, if you brought it to me and I was the person that had to approve it, and I'm like, okay, well, what happens if a cop gets behind you, beside you, in front of you with their lights on? What happens? Because
they pull over,
I know,
and then they wait for you to walk up to the car, and then they go for it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like as somebody that was, approving these permits or whatever, I would have to, ask what happens when an ambulance needs to cut across the light. What's your car going to do? Things like this. These are, I feel, common sense questions that should be asked.
Yeah. I kind of probably, this is more in your lane, Gary. The other thing that comes to mind when I think of these autonomous vehicles is kind of that cybersecurity. It's only a matter of time until somebody hacks and figures out how to remote control it. I feel like there has to be a vulnerability there that can allow that to happen. And then who takes the blame there when something bad happens?
Well, from what I understand, they're not on a public network. Is what I understand. So it's all private network. So
what about these Teslas where people like go to sleep in the back seat?
Well, you can't anymore.
Well, yeah, okay, but first of all, why could you ever? Because
Right,
the first
exactly.
thing that should have been figured out is like body weight in the seat, and if it changes during ride,
Well, it's not even that. Like that's
Right.
the first thing. Like my car has self-driving. And the first thing I did whenever I got it was get on the highway, turn on self-driving, and kind of kick back. Like, I don't know, 5 minutes into it, my dash is flashing red saying grab the wheel. And I
Yeah.
have to put my hands back on the wheel for it to keep self-driving. The only thing I think is, and this is, I don't know who came up with this dumb idea. If I don't touch the wheel again, it just disables self-driving. It doesn't stop the car. It doesn't slow down the car. It just disables the self-driving. So the cruise control is still going, and my car is going to go. Whoa. Like,
but those
designed
accidents
that?
before they changed those were in outside of Austin, or they were in Northern California on a 5. Those aren't even in cities. Then who's handling it?
Yeah. See, I need to do a video over my car. Just get in it, remote area, turn on auto drive, and just see what happens.
You know, it's not like I can just go out and like figure out how to like make my lawnmower mow all the lawns on the block, but then go inside and like have some cocktails while it's doing it. And then the cops come and go, yeah, you hit 2 kids, you killed them. And it's like, well, man, I tried. You know, it's like autonomous. You know, I did my best.
I tried.
Lost a
Sorry.
couple fingers there.
You know, why'd they get in front of it? Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
it's just like these, all I can think of are these dumb answers. Like, I mean, like, can you imagine being on the cruise team and going, well, so, you know, why'd your car go through the red light? And you're like, beats me, man. That one doesn't like cops. Like,
What
No, of
city?
course not.
It's got a warrant.
What city is going to be like me first, me first, me first? Like what city is going to like volunteer for this?
Whoever they pay.
San Francisco has 3 companies operating. I don't know now. Again, they're not taking passengers and stuff. And if they are, they're like investors of Waymo or investors of Cruise. They're more just running the routes. But that even seems worse.
Well, who does Google's autonomous?
Waymo.
It's Waymo?
Waymo,
Because
yeah.
like I've seen them drive down my street, nobody in it, just completely empty. You know, they're doing the satellite images of your house and things like
Yeah.
that. You know, and so it's like
freaky to see. Like I think it'd be like so freaky to see. Like who's in the car? There's nobody in the car.
John,
I
don't know how many
remember from a long
John's seen,
time
but
ago.
John lives in a city where
I
they
get to see him all the time for Waymo. I don't see him
Yeah.
as many here, but so I live in, more the, you should call it Central Phoenix versus in Tempe. Tempe, the ASU college town, that's where I used to see all those autonomous vehicles, the Waymo. The other
Yeah.
thing I've seen in Tempe too is those delivery bots, I guess you call them, looking like about 4 feet off the ground, looking like a big old bulb, like a microwave on the wheels. I've seen those in Tempe as well. And
the trash cans.
yeah,
Delivery bots.
delivery bots.
The
And I'd
ones
say
that
those
get
things
frozen.
are,
Oh, you can.
you're crossing the street. I swear, almost hitting them because some of those places, like I mentioned, are especially near the college where there's like a crosswalk everywhere, and I swear there's not a stoplight everywhere. Put it that way.
You know those delivery bots. What's that movie that the people in the water could tell what you was going to do ahead of time?
Minority Report.
Minority Report. You remember on there that they had that delivery robot that got shot up in that ghetto building? That's what those things remind me of.
Oh yeah.
Those things just remind, like the fact that they put eyes on them. Like kids are gonna chase them down the road, like
Big old
"Whoa,"
googly
like,
eyes.
Maybe, like I'm gonna catch the trash can. Come on, like people are definitely gonna. And then if you're taking away jobs, people are gonna be again. There comes in the guns and the baseball bats.
People they have an enemy to hate, even if it's a robot.
So
Plus all you need is a baseball bat and you get a free
classified
dinner.
as a felony then because it's federal. What would that be classified? Misdemeanor, felony? Like
It would be a felony.
Claim self-defense. Say it came at me.
Yeah, it'd be a felony though. Just to answer your question, because of the value of it.
Yeah. Now the other thing, because we're talking about autonomous vehicles, and I don't know if you guys know this, are all of the autonomous vehicles electric, or is there any autonomous technology on gas-powered vehicles?
I think they're electric.
I know obviously the Tesla.
What about the Ioniq 5 though? I thought that one was a hybrid. And that one we just saw a thing on too. We were they did one of their like mock-up videos on like how awesome the autonomous is. And we were watching the video. It was like,
Nope, they're all either hybrids or electric.
Yeah, I
okay.
was gonna say, yeah. I mean, because imagine having that super expensive autonomous vehicle, and nowadays on top of that, having to fill it up with $100 worth of gas every couple hours. I think those things just drive around the city all day.
Right. I think what the hybrids do is probably just charge the battery that's on there, use the gas to charge the battery with the alternator or something. That's what I would figure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, speaking of gas prices, out here, gas is almost, it just feels like it's grazing every week. It's like almost like if it was a stock, I wish I'd invested in it, because I'll tell you, it started the year about $3 and it's gone to almost $6 out here. It's almost doubled. And it's crazy because Arizona, you don't think of a lot of times. You think of these high gas prices. You think of California, maybe Seattle, maybe some of the other coastal states, New York, some of the bigger cities. And I put a poll up just the other day, thinking that two things that I found that were interesting. Wondering that in these states that have these high gas prices, do people just still fill up their tank all the way? Do they just fill up how much they use at a time? It was interesting because some of the responses that I got were about people saying, yes, they do fill up their tank, but then also that they don't let it get empty anymore, because the next time they fill it up, it's going to be at a higher price. So they're topping it off a lot more often, which is what I thought was kind of crazy, kind of smart, pretty high IQ, versus, just doing $25 or $50 worth of gas, because $25 worth of gas isn't much nowadays. But yeah, Arizona, we're over, at least in my neighborhood, over 550 now, which is, I thought maybe a month ago it would take, I don't know, till the end of the summer till we got the $6 gas, and I'm thinking it might be out here $6 gas before the end of the month.
I was right there with you, John. I was thinking like, it's gonna get worse, but it's not gonna get worse for a few months, and maybe a little. But I was like, the big chunk will come in later, and like it was like a day after I said that, and it started jumping again big, and I was like, what the? I mean, we saw gas, and no, this was not a misprint, people. It was $9 plus in Mendocino County.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's somebody made a joke about how they said, well, at least premium's only 20 cents higher. So it's like, at $9.49, but $9 for regular, but $9.69 for premium. I'm thinking you better be getting premium once you're paying that much.
Not that much, yeah.
You're already in that deep. You're going for $10 a gallon almost. I mean,
New Jersey, we're at 535. I saw today. I almost fill up, almost like I end my night almost every single night going to the gas station and getting ready for the next day, because I don't know whether the gas is going to go up the next day. So it's like been my routine now for a while that I end every single night going to the gas station and filling it up, but I never let it get down to the point where I'm going to spend like $50 to fill up my car. Like, I feel like if I constantly do it every day and it's part of my routine, at least I feel like I'm getting the cheapest gas before it goes up the next day.
Well, and I think it's an emotional thing too, because like if you go fill up every night and then say it's $12, but you wait till it's empty and it's $70. Like nice. You're thinking, damn, $70 compared to 12.
Let's also be honest. If you fill up when you're around half a tank, you get better mileage. You do. I mean, if you let the more you let it run down, the harder you make it work, the more gas you expend.
Is that actually true though?
I think I know it is. I watch it in my car. Like, dude, if I start get below like in my RAV4, if I get below like quarter tank, that burns quick.
I did not know that.
At least for me. I mean, but I deal with a lot of like mountains, not hills, not bumps, but mountains. Big mountains.
I guess that's the lucky part of living in the desert, where it's it's flat pretty much half of the city.
Yeah.
Okay, here's why. It is kind of true, but it says that as the tank empties out, more and more gas will vaporize to fumes to fill the volume of the tank above the liquid. So it's not that you're using more.
No.
it's just going away.
Right. It's if you have a full tank, it's pulling it. If you have a quarter tank, it's like it's really working it and using more.
I know. I'm with Kim. I've always ended my day filling up my car.
Yep.
Because the next day, like, and this probably from my rideshare days, because whenever I got in the next day, I don't know if it was going to be a long ride or something like that. So I always wanted to make sure I was prepared and I didn't have to wake up, go get gas or stop and get gas on the way to do something. And I just rather wake up and be ready to go for my day. Same reason why I probably clean out my car every night as well.
Yeah, I would run. I had I don't now, but I had a monthly subscription or whatever to the car wash near me. So my day ended every day with a car wash, not the inside every day, because that really only maybe it didn't take it one day or need it or whatever, or just a little touch up would do. But ended every day with a car wash, and because I got one a day, and then I'd go fill up with gas same time. Then I'd go home. Then my car is just ready that next morning for whatever happens. But
yeah, that's got to be the way people do it nowadays. Because, like I said, that sticker shock every morning. You don't know what it's going to be. It could be you know what it's not going to be. You know it's not going to be cheaper the next morning. You know that much.
One thing I will say, if you've ever wanted to buy an RV, I bet you could go on the lot and get them for about half price right now.
Now, if you want to get any type of gas guzzler, people are probably giving them away.
That the thing is that's not happening though, because like I seen a truck posted the other day, a Raptor something or another, $91,000. Like that is just dumb.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if at that point, that guy just might as well. Whoever's going to buy that Raptor might as well just live in it. I mean, you could have a house.
That was a dealership. It was at a dealership. It wasn't even a private seller. It was a dealership. I'm like, what?
Well, John, you know, we're both friends with Jason up in, well, he sometimes is down by you, but Jason up Idaho, Jason.
Driving, yep.
Yeah, Jason Pease, and he's got that RV that he tows that Prius behind on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like he's not gonna be able to do that now. It's like 6 or 7 miles to the gallon.
It's not worth it.
It's like you can see as far as you get per gallon down the road. Like this gallon will get me to there.
I mean,
go to there.
I don't know. I would just be like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna figure out a way to see if I can ship this at this point. Basically, it might be cheaper to ship it.
Yeah.
Put it on a truck, get the truck to take it, and like, meet me at the location.
Use Roadie.
Have them take it.
Some. Have you seen some of those that come across Roadie? It's like, who's taking these?
Wait, Dashing Grandpa, Brandon? Are you saying that you get 15.5 miles to the gallon?
That's terrible.
Oh, that's not good.
What are you driving?
Tank.
Gotta be a
tank.
SUV, a truck, V8.
I'm here with your food. Here, I just put it in the
and then shoot it out at the front door. No tip this.
Dashing Grandpa just said yes. Wow. What kind of car are you driving, Dashing Grandpa?
An Infinity? Really? They get that bad of gas mileage?
Oh, man.
Wait, that is just, I mean, I'm not trying to dog you, but that's awful.
That's painful for me. I just did.
The brand new ones only get 21 city, 26 highway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the XQ80. It gets 14 city. Whew.
Oof.
Yeah, he says, what is it? He says it's the G37X.
Wow.
50 miles. I mean,
I get 40 miles to the gallon. So
that reminds me never get to get an Infinity. I get 44 to the gallon. So my car is actually really good.
I don't get that great of mileage. I'm just in the 20s, but I keep my routes low. I keep my routes very short. I mean, that's why I'm doing all this shit.
He's going downhill now.
I have a Yukon.
Yeah, when I drive my Sonata, it gets like 28 miles, but my accent is like 44.
If you guys ever see me pedaling on a bike, that's because my car got 12 miles to the gallon.
I mean, nowadays people are seeing mopeds around, and I don't blame them. I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm telling you, I feel like these gas prices are going to make us go electric sooner rather than later. I feel like it's like we're on the boom of being like hybrid cars.
I have no problem with electric cars. Like I seriously don't. The only problem I have is the price tag on these electric cars
and the price tag on the batteries, especially.
Yeah, if they would make
batteries
them,
are ridiculous.
Like I guarantee you, if they would make them more affordable, people would switch. No questions asked.
I mean, if you could get some electric or hybrid cars under 20K, get them even under the 25K nowadays because of inflation. That's the new 20K. You get them in that range, you'll definitely see a lot more people go into those. And I think the other thing I think makes it a challenge right now is I know, especially for a lot of the models people want, they don't get that federal rebate. Like I know Tesla, I don't think is a federal rebate anymore. I don't think the GM models, I think it's down to like Nissan and a couple other manufacturers. And so I think if you bring that back to on top of it, maybe you'll get more people to switch over. But I think a lot of people would be willing to because they don't want to pay that gas price.
Well, Elon,
but they also don't want to pay that car note either.
Elon Musk said that he's going to be releasing a Tesla that only costs $25,000.
I thought he said that a while ago, though.
No.
Ford Motor just did something like that too, and then it was actually an article about for gig workers it was one of those ones with a timeline 2024, but they were saying that if they can get the battery costs down because of this, what's the new battery technology, Gary? You probably know.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
But they're moving to something where it's like a third as much, and they don't burn as easy, they don't catch fire or whatever's going on with these things.
Yeah, John, whenever you get a moment, I posted in our private chat here, but it's going to be a 2023 release, and it's a Tesla hatchback.
Okay.
For $25K. I planned on buying one.
I mean, you better get on that wait list now because those are going to be popular. Yeah.
Yes.
But I think that's the range you got to get in. The other thing about it, I think, is if these companies, DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, they started giving some type of driver subsidy, encouraging us to say, hey, if you buy one of these and you, I don't know, do for every 40-hour week you do, we'll give you some type of something towards your car payment, or for every 100 hours a month or whatever they make it. I mean, it would make some sense for people to get that car, maybe do that for a year. But, those companies aren't making a profit as it is. But I think doing something like that for the drivers would help drivers, get into those cars, but then also knowing that, hey, I can get that discount if I do so much work for you per week or per month. They would also get the work they need to keep some of their other costs down. So it could be a win-win if they would do that for us.
My friend just bought a Prius with 150,000 miles on it. The reason why she did it because they can go up to like 300,000 miles, but she got it for like $8,000.
Ooh, that's a good deal.
Oh, wow.
That's a good deal.
Right? Isn't it a good deal? I'm like, darn, I wish I would have gotten that deal.
So Colorado, a bunch of years back, did a solar program. They pulled the plug on it. I'm not sure if other states did it like we did it, but where you got your solar for free, you got it installed for free. Everything. I mean, like it was just, and then it was like, whoa, pull the program. Because I know people who were involved in that. There was nothing scamming about it. They just couldn't do it anymore. I would think that a huge thing, it's still not going to cover all the battery and everything, but a huge thing would be to say that if you do buy one, you get the $6,000 charger installed in your house for free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the same kind of thing as the solar push, and the solar has some big issues. I mean, this is, if they're really wanting to do this, give something up here. Give have a professional installed charger put into your garage or whatever.
It'd be nice if like Uber or Lyft, or preferably Uber because I have Uber, if they came up with like some kind of program with one of these companies that offered something for the drivers out there, whether, I don't know, a discount program or something that makes it more affordable for us that are always out on the road, that actually can benefit from using either hybrid or electric cars.
Well, you can rent a Tesla through Uber.
Really?
For that same price, that could be a car note.
Did you see everybody's like, really, Gary? Really? Like it's $470 a week. Really?
Yeah,
And it's
might
funny
as well buy
because
it.
I looked into it the other week because I'm like, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, well, if I do X amount of gas per day, even if it's like an extra like $100, would it be like really worth it to rent it per week? So you're not putting it like the wear and tear in your car. And then I saw how much it was, and I'm like, oh heck no, that's a car payment per week.
See, whenever I get back down to Florida, I can't rent one in Oklahoma. They don't offer it here. Whenever I get back to Florida, I'm gonna rent one through Uber. Because like I know how much I spend as far as insurance and gas and things like that. That $470 a week or whatever they do it for, it includes everything. It includes the insurance, all that stuff. So I'm gonna compare it and see, because like if I'm spending say $200 a week on gas now, like it might save me that.
200, 400. Gary, what math are you doing?
Well, no, I'm saying wherever you factor in, like if you already have a car payment, like the average person has a car payment. So if you take your car payment that you're paying plus the gas plus the insurance that you would pay on your personal vehicle and all those things that you would normally pay in a month, take that and compare it to how much you're paying on Uber to rent it. You see what I'm saying?
If you take all the gas price for the month and you take that out, I think that'd have to be a big part of that calculation.
Well, yeah, you take your gas and whatever insurance that you pay on your personal car, your car payment, if you have a car payment, I think the average car payment is what, $350 to $550 right now. So if you didn't have that as well, and you just take whatever you're currently paying and see if it's just as cheap or not, I wouldn't even say cheap. If it's just as expensive to rent that as it is to own your own vehicle. Because if you can rent it and you're paying the no maintenance or anything, like you don't have to pay any maintenance, you blow a tire or whatever, they come tow it, they fix it. Something goes wrong with it, they fix it. You don't have to do oil changes. All that's included in your rental.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is too, I know with these electric cars, they have that less wear and tear. They don't have as many moving parts. So technically there is less maintenance. So if you think about it, you're actually probably paying for maintenance that you don't really need.
No, but Soda, the program I'm talking about, the insurance and everything is included in that rental.
Right, like Tony Driven Dad, Bud Soda.
Yes.
Like
yeah,
he rents a Tesla. He doesn't pay for the charging. He doesn't pay for that's all the insurance. It's all included in his $520 payment a week.
Right.
So I'm just thinking kind of like rough math. So on the low side, I was actually looking at it. We'll say it was 450, 470 per week, something like that. But we'll say on the low side, 400 per week. So that's 1,200 per month. I'm just thinking, on an average, a car payment, you said on the low side, Gary, is what, 350? We'll say 400, so it's somewhere in between. So that's 400. My insurance for one car is 150 because I live in New Jersey and it's
that's
$550. 550. And then I do $30 a day in gas times I work 6 days, so that's $180. So what are we up to?
Well, you got one. Well, let's say 200 in gas a week, so that's 800 right there in gas.
It gets close. It gets close. If you add the gas, once you add the gas on top, it gets very close.
Right,
that's what I'm saying. So here's my thing.
With the 800, it should be 700 at 175. But so even at 7 though.
With 7, you're already paying more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're already paying $1,250 a month for your current car, or you could be rolling in a Tesla.
I don't know. I guess I'm also thinking of like a household like me who has like 2 cars. So you think you already have a car payment on one car, and now I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you already have a car payment, like if your car's paid off, you're probably not gonna match it, But if you already got a car payment, or you're thinking about buying a new car, and why wouldn't you do this? I mean, you literally get all the benefits of having a car, but you don't own it. You're not responsible for it.
I guess I'm also like thinking in my head, okay, like on the low side, as gig workers, we all have like what our minimums are. So I'm thinking what my minimums are and then taking automatically $400 away every single week to pay for.
But you already do that.
I guess. I don't know.
You just do it daily
It's a
instead of
mental thing,
weekly.
though. Like, if
I
you do it
know.
it's a mental thing. If you do it per week and you're like,
Right. But see, like
it's a
John probably does it like me. Every Sunday, I sit down and I see how much I spent through the week. I don't do it on a daily basis. So I add up everything I spent for that week. And that includes car insurance and gas and car payment, everything that goes towards my car. I calculate up on a weekly basis. I don't know if
I'm
John
seeing
does
some
that.
crazy
I'll
numbers
add the
going
gas
through
up
this
in
chat
there,
right
but
now.
but
Like
all the other
Bud
expenses are
Soda
monthly.
and then the truck is $835.
See, look, $835 a month for a truck. Like, and then you add on the gas that he would spend to drive that daily. You could literally drive a Tesla.
I think right now, at this point in history, because of that gas price, it makes it a very good argument. I will say that.
But you can't go get a Tesla right now. That's the biggest problem.
But you can rent one. You can rent one.
Well, that's
if
if
you
it's
can find
available.
one.
Like see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like if I go down to Florida, I can reserve a Tesla right now.
Maybe.
No, the app says I can.
Okay.
It says it's available and I can reserve it. Once I get it, I got it. I mean, like, there's nothing else I got to pay for. And the thing is like, even if I'm a part-time gig worker, it doesn't matter because it's linked to my bank account. So if I don't make that $400 a week to pay for it, they just debit the difference out of my account.
Well, I think the big thing too is that I
Hey,
think
Brandon.
if I had that Tesla,
Later, Brandon.
would you do more? I mean, you have you say 200 miles charge a day. You're in a nice car. I mean, part of it is you got you feel good about it. So maybe it makes your day where you would usually do 8 hours. Now you're doing 10-hour days because you're in a Tesla and you're relaxed. And
right. It drives itself, Kim.
I mean, yeah.
You can
Depending
just
on the
sleep.
GPS,
Tim. You can go in the
self-drive.
back and sleep. And only some people die from that. So
Yeah, only some. Small percentage.
Sometimes they speed up and crash, and it's cool.
And I mean, I get where you're coming from, though, Kim. Wherever you think about it, like daily or something like that, or like using your minimums, then you're thinking, well, that's half my income.
Well, I think the other challenge too.
But if you go look at your bank account, you're already spending half your income.
Yeah. Well, I think
no matter how we
have
look
your
at
car
it,
and
we're
you have
all
that.
spending our income on the car.
Yeah. I mean, we really are.
No matter what. I mean, Marion has some like lower numbers than the rest of us. I saw she was saying that she's got her car insurance at.
It's pretty
And
good.
she's in Chicago, so that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that's gonna vary. I mean, like I think my insurance is $500 and something for 6 months.
See, these seem like numbers that I remember not too long ago. Like, okay, 260, okay, and then this kind of insurance, yeah, not like this 3 times as much stuff.
Yeah, but so.
Yeah, luckily I just paid off my car earlier this year, so I know a lot of people go from, hey, I've got this paid off, time to get a new one. I'm not quite yet. And if I do, like I said, it's going to be something a lot more fuel efficient.
See, that's the thing. Like, I will drive my cars until they just need a new motor or transmission, because 9 out of 10 times fixing them is cheaper than getting a $40,000 car.
It is.
It's like what Dark Road Run Joe says. He's like, just go buy the cheapest piece of junk that has some life left in it, run it into the ground.
Well, when rideshare first started, or when everybody started doing it, 2014, my car was like a $4,000 piece of crap.
I had my RAV4 nice, and I mean, I was making so much money. I
say piece of crap. It wasn't like piece of crap. I'm just saying it wasn't a brand new car. It was a used vehicle. It was a Dodge Intrepid, and I mean, I drove it and drove it and drove it until it just could not run anymore, and then I sold it to somebody.
But so how on earth is this? I have a son who lives with me almost full time, like 1.5 days a week. He's not here. Like, this is like our bills. I mean, what are you doing, man? I mean, that's just crazy, dude.
We won't get into bills.
Oh, it's just crazy though.
That's another conversation for another day.
We've all had our youth where we may be digging out of holes from our 20s and even to our 30s.
I don't know. I'm looking at 2,500. I was thinking, man, that's cheap.
Well, right, but I was
like,
adding up all the stuff up top too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of money going out there.
Well, he's a single man, lives with a roommate, I believe. No kids.
Or a stalker.
Or a stalker, yeah. I guess it could
just walks around in the back.
So I mean, whenever you're single, it's cheaper to live. I mean, obviously. Unlike, me, Kim, we got but if anybody's willing to take some bills off our hands, we'll send them to you every month.
I will send you every single one of them.
Right? This is just crazy though, what we're all paying. There has to be some light at the end of the tunnel. They're trying to get all of us to buy electric, and then they're going to put gas back down to like $2.12.
Well, here's
since that's crazy to me that it was like that was the price of gas,
so
like just even like
stupid,
a year or two ago. It's like, how did we get here from there? And how did it happen so quickly? It's like,
and the thing is, like, what really makes me mad is insurance is not cross state. Health insurance, car insurance, none of that is cross state.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. There was something on gas prices, and Chad left a comment that said, what was it? He's like, it's like blue states charge you to live there. I'm like, all states charge you to live there.
Oh,
What are you talking about, dude?
I mean, Arizona's not a blue state, and I tell you, the gas price feels like a blue state.
Right, but it's like we all pay in our own ways. I say this all the time. Like, if you live in Kansas, in the middle of Kansas, your cost of living is probably a quarter of mine here in Metro Denver. It's just it's unreal. Maybe not groceries these days and stuff, but like your house. I mean, you probably have 4 times the house for less money than I pay here.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of friends that lived in Arizona. I'll say a handful of friends that lived in Arizona. Had houses out here, or actually they were renting out here, moved to Ohio, and they're like, oh my gosh, you see the house I got for $100,000 out here. I'm like, yeah, that'd be about 300 out here.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Well, you guys, do we have anything else to wrap up this week, or
I heard Kim's gonna auction off her Dr. Pepper cooler.
What?
Never.
Kim, I saw the cans in it. Did it not fit the liter?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. Because I saw it when you had cans. I was like, wait a minute. Did it not fit? Okay, it did.
This is one of those times where I wish we had the technology where she could just pass me a Dr. Pepper through the screen. It's like,
would that be awesome?
But she wouldn't.
Yeah, but see that. Yeah,
she'd be like, I'm sorry,
wouldn't.
I got 4 left. Those are all.
I would be like, oh, wait, no, sorry.
Like, oh, it just won't go through somehow. You're just getting rejected.
I mean, that's gonna make drug deals simple.
Right. The ads will literally just be like, want to get hooked on something new?
Right.
I'm bored. Why not?
Go to this website.
Reach in your TV. Don't even have to go to just reach in your TV and grab it.
It'll be like those
Right.
Amazon stores where you just walk in and put it in your pocket and walk out.
So,
Right.
Christopher, just real quick, Christopher Taylor said, I'm old. I have to remember when gas was below $2. When I was in high school, it was 79 cents. So, does that make me older?
What,
I remember
79 cents?
Yeah, that's what it was when I was in high school.
No way. You were not older
I'm
than me.
older than you, Kim.
Could be
Like,
location.
A little bit. I
We
think
never,
it might be
and
right.
I grew up in Michigan. We never. I
I've
remember like
never seen it, though.
$1.99. I think that's about as $1.89. It's probably the lowest I remember.
It was 79 cents.
Oh, and you live in one of those, weird states like
Oh.
Oregon where you can't pump your own gas.
You know, I say I've never seen that, but maybe I just never noticed it because I just did a quick Google search. And whenever I started driving, gas was 54 cents.
See,
What?
I told you.
No, I'm kind of curious. Like, what did you
Yeah.
search? How much was gas in X whatever
Yes.
year?
How much gas is in 1995?
Did you say where?
Well, I say gas
Gary,
prices
then
Oklahoma.
you and
in
I might be the
1995.
same age.
I'm 40. I'll be 42 next month.
Okay,
Me
I'm
too.
older.
You're older than me?
Yeah.
You don't look
I didn't
it.
realize gas was that cheap.
Oh, I
My gas was like
think
$1 something.
Yeah, I thought it was even more than that, but okay. Maybe
Well, where was you whenever you was 16?
Lansing, Michigan,
Prices, what year?
1980, 88.
Oh, 8.
That's why you asked.
Trying to get us all a number ourselves.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking it up right now for you. 1988. It was the highest was 63 cents,
What?
and the lowest was
Told you.
50.
I don't remember. I guess that makes sense because
Yeah,
I got
50
paid
cents.
crap too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I can't remember what minimum wage was. It was like $5.85.
Okay.
Now,
Minimum wage, I think, has been $7.25 ever since I could work.
so I mean, I gotta say this one last time. I won't say it anymore, but I gotta say how proud I am of my son. At the same time, like, wow, you know, he does this lifeguard training. He's 15 years old. He's a little behind in age of the kids in his class because he'll be a junior next year. But he's 15 years old. He'll be 16 in August or in September, and he just got a job. He did the training and he got a job right away as a lifeguard for $18 an hour this summer.
That's awesome.
My first job was in a dish tank.
$18 an hour. I wish I was getting
So-
that when I was a teenager. Oh my gosh.
When does he get paid?
It's a city job. He starts
first and
Monday. He
15th?
did all his training this week. So
Oh, I
we'll
was going to
see.
say, has he told you what he's going to buy with his first paycheck yet?
Probably some bills of ours.
I was gonna say, at what point do you start charging them rent? It's like, hey, you're a man, you have a job now.
Hey, you got to teach him responsibilities at some point, right?
I was gonna
I'm
say,
just
you're
going to start
charge
having a
them rent.
menu around dinner time.
he's going to go up and ask his son, hey, what do you want for dinner tonight? Oh, okay. $12.95.
No, I'll just hand him the
Tell him
menu
to order you
with the
DoorDash.
prices on it. I mean, I'll just be like,
Steve's going to mail his own son an electric bill and internet bill. Like, hey, you got some bills today. Dad, these are handwritten from you. I know. Pay up.
yeah,
Shut
dude,
it off.
your account's running too high, so I can't give you any more food till you pay it up.
Steve's gonna go into the breaker and flip off the breaker and be like, you didn't pay your electricity this month. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no gaming.
Like, like, why do you have gas? Why do you have lights on this side of the house? Well, this side of the house is paid for.
It's on a different circuit.
No, but all jokes aside, I am so proud of him. He's taking it so seriously, and you have to. I mean, for all
Yes,
the people that
yes.
have said to me, "Oh man," like even Arturo and I were joking that like, "Oh, he's gonna have such a fun summer, tanning and hanging out with girls and all this stuff," and I'm like, you know, he's taking this very, very seriously.
Awesome.
Yeah, see, I don't think he's gonna be doing all that. Like
Well, a lot of the pools here kind of are like that, but you have to be on your game too. It's not like just screwing around.
right. Well, I know whenever we were kids, lifeguards were typically adults, you
Yeah.
know, or at least mine were. So, you know, but then like my kids, you know, they worked at the local pools and everything. I'm like, what?
They even in the training they told him that they said most of your problems won't be with kids, they'll be with adults.
That
Yes.
sounds about
You're
right.
probably right.
A little too saucy.
So they're like training him to be like the adults are going to be jerks. The kids will listen to you and get out. Like
Adults suck.
right, the adults are going to be like, no, I'm
I
bigger than
listen to
you.
you.
Like
I'm older than you.
so. But it's
Now,
pretty
question
cool.
for
He's
you.
learning all these save techniques and stuff. He's bringing them home to me. I was a big swimmer.
Showing
He's
you?
a big swimmer.
Is he showing you or asking you, quizzing you?
Well, he showed me his bag. His he's got his hip sack, and then he's got his like medic bag thing, and he's got like the way that they do CPR now is with like a plastic mask, and then there's some like pumping funnel,
Right.
so that you don't have to be mouth to mouth these days.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he's got on him, but I mean, they taught him CPR. He knows how to do it if that piece isn't there. In 4 days, he learned a ton.
The thing is he's probably ahead of 95% of adults.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
really.
you know what, man? He went out and got this job on his own. I was suggesting things to him, and he's like, I don't want that job. I don't want that job. And I kind of was thinking, that's what every kid says. Just, you're going to need to get a job. Go get it. And then he's like, well, I'm going to go get a job as a lifeguard. I was like, okay. And I'm going to go be an aerospace technician. So, you know what? Like, good for you, man. They don't hire 15-year-olds for that job. All of a sudden, he came back. He's like, I got it.
Oh, it would have been great if he just walked in and be like, suck it, and walked away.
Just put it on a table.
Yeah. I don't know why I always imagine Steve's kid is just like talking mad trash to him all the time. Probably because of how Steve is, but
he's definitely more got the adult mindset for sure. Like he acts like an adult. You know what I mean? He treats things very seriously, and I like that.
Yeah, most of us don't.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of even a lot of his friends, they're just out to, I mean, they want to make some money, they want to do things, but like he's very responsible. I really don't have to, I don't know, I don't feel like worried about him too much anymore. Like obviously when they're little, you just are worried, and then they grow up and you're worried. And I think I've gotten to that place where, I still have my concerns, but I'm not worried about him. He's got a good head on his shoulder. He did all this on his own.
See, that's how you know that you raised him right, though, because you're not worried about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he also told me that they're like shutting down pools in Denver. That's part of the reason the pay went up. Like they're trying to maneuver all these lifeguards who are training to be at the spots that are going to be open. They've had to shut some down because they can't get enough people.
Now, question: is it a lifeguard or is it a water watcher?
It's a lifeguard.
Lately,
lifeguard.
Water watch. Okay.
No, lifeguard. Yeah, he came home with the shirt yesterday, and they taught him everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But and he's got his certification through the state, like online. He has to, whenever you have to recertify, but he's now certified as a lifeguard. And also we have a lot of year-round, like what do you call them? Like indoor pools at like rec centers and stuff that are really nice. And because he works for Denver now, the city of Denver, he can do that year round. He can be at these, and we have really nice ones too. And they also said that now that for some reason, once you're certified, and I think this is really strange, once you're certified with the CPR and everything that goes with the swimming, you can like teach soccer at some of these with certain age kids, even if you've never played soccer, because if you've been like gone through the training for if you've gone through the training for CPR, then you can do all these other jobs. You can work the front desk, you can do everything. So I'm excited to see that. But
it's an awesome first job, especially it shows a lot of responsibility to be responsible for people's lives and well-being. I mean, it's a big undertaking, so I think it's big respect for that. But definitely a great start to his work history too.
Yeah, for sure. And it's year round. So I mean, like when other kids quit at the end of summer, if he wants to keep it up part-time, he can. But that said, that was a little rant of mine. I'm not going to keep bragging about him because I could brag about him all day. But just super proud dad. But
well, we're super proud co-host of your son.
Let's see him make it now. He's got to. Now he's got to. Now the proof's in the pudding.
He's jinxing
because he won't. He won't.
He won't make it.
No, he'll crush it.
Oh. Like that's a negative thing to say.
I was like, what?
After everything I just said.
Like my son's awesome. He's gonna fail.
But okay, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. And I know that they're 50 minutes started, but if you haven't popped over to Hannibal and Pedro, I don't even have the link. Hannibal didn't leave it with us, but I know that It's the Hannibal and Pedro podcast. That's what it's called.
I'm kind of curious. Look it up myself here.
Hold on, give me a second. I'm about to drop a link for everybody.
Yeah, so at least pop by, give them a like, say hi.
Give them a Hannibal. Give a Hannibal and Pedro raid here.
Should be that one, I believe.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, John.
I stopped in for a second. They were talking about sports, and I'm not a sports person, so.
Well, it's nothing gig economy, that's for sure.
No.
Fatherhood, mental health, sports, music. So, but yeah. Oh, that's right. Hey guys, by the way, I did want to plug John's channel because John's channel, I've known John for a little bit now, good amount of time, and honestly, like there was no content going up for a while, and about 3 weeks back, he said to me, "I'm gonna be putting something up every day." When you hear that from somebody and they haven't been doing it, you're hopeful, but you don't know. He has been every day. He's been putting up a video. So he's kind of, I don't know if any of you have ever read John's books. I've only read the one he sent me. He sent my son one too, about his one about college, but his books are good, and he's working on another book, and he will be co-hosting the podcast with me a week from next week. And next Thursday we have Faith with us here, Dasher Pass. She will be back, and she's going to make her come back on here, so that'll be fun.
She's always a fun time. I like her.
She's been dealing with some family stuff. She's kind of been out of the scene, but she's going to be on here next Thursday, and we're going to have a good time. So,
and of course, don't forget to check out Kim live on Tuesdays.
Oh, always. Kim live on Tuesdays is like everybody's, everybody talks about family and the community and stuff. I consider that part of the family community right there.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I love Tuesdays. I love spending time with everybody and really connecting, and I have so much fun doing it. So thank you.
I actually enjoy it a lot now that you're using StreamYard and you're letting people join you.
Yeah, I wanted to find a way that lets people talk to me or say hi. Like it could just even be a simple hello, how are you? You can turn your camera off. Like, I don't care. I just wanted a way that people can actually come and share whatever they want to share about their week. And I've been having a lot of fun interacting with so many people, and it's fun times.
John, what do you got coming up?
Man, I got a couple of videos I've been working on and kind of haven't posted in probably close to a month, but I've had to take a little mental health break. But I got a couple of videos working on, and won't say too much, but it's definitely, I think, some topics that will be a little bit different, but people should be listening to or interested in. And of course, my usual tips videos on top of that. But yeah, gonna do a little bit of a content, I won't say change up, but a little bit of a expansion, maybe we'll say.
Yeah, so for those of you, if you're not subscribed to John, his link is in the show notes already, so you can subscribe to him. His content's great. I don't know. We didn't even really get into some stuff here that Kim started doing shipped, but I guess one last quick question. We don't have to dive in too deep. Is this corner shop still killing it for you, or is it?
So corner shop, still good orders from corner shop. Still, it's still so the corner shop, the volume is still low, but the orders I'm taking, I mean, just the other night, like I said, I went out, and yesterday it was like a shorter day, but went out about 5 o'clock, and just between basically, I think I did three Uber orders and that one corner shop order, earned about $70 just between that. It's corner shop being half of that. So corner shop is still the highest average. It's not the most volume, but still the highest average on orders. Yeah.
All right.
And actually, that's one of my videos. Actually, I put on the list because just talking about their pay model and how I think every gig app should kind of model themselves after corner shop's pay model. And when I break it down, I think people will understand why.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's getting late, so everybody have a good night. Thanks for joining us. We will see you back here next week on the roundtable. Until then, you'll probably see us all over the place like always. And on Sunday, Gary and I are gonna talk about a little bit about the gig conference thing about housing, and just trying to see if like actually putting that together instead of just talking about it till it's too late to do it. So we'll be talking about that. So I don't know. You'll see all of us around. Kim posts every day. John's gonna post something. Gary and I will be around. So John's posting every day. So everybody check out John's channel. He does a lot. He's not doing like tips and tricks on apps. He's doing more pieces on mental health and things like that as well. So John's channel is awesome.
Yeah, John McKaylen.
John McKaylen, yeah, versus
John McKaylen.
Well, and both Johns, really. I mean, John Dash just said too, he's going to be doing some on that same content. So seems like a content that a lot of creators are kind of going to right now, because it's a big thing that's happening to all of us.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, John, for joining us. Thank you, Kim, for joining us. Thank you, Gary, for joining us. And we will see you back here next week. Have a good one, you guys. Check out, at least go give Pedro and Hannibal a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just kidding. A thumbs up only. Good night, guys.
Thanks.